Hey Marie, my name is Charlie and thank you so much for joining me over Zoom today in the media studio. So tell me, what have you been up to since you graduated CPA?
My name is Marie Renaudin and I graduated class of 2018. I am a junior at Belmont and I'm studying psychology as my major and I'm minoring in studio art and religious studies. And the goal is to eventually go to grad school and do art therapy.
So Marie, why do you do what you do? Why did you decide to major in art therapy in college?
I think that it's a healthy form of expression for me. It kind of helps me get my emotions out, my feelings out, and it's one of those things that kind of brings me peace when everything else is kind of going crazy, I guess.
So Marie, when you think about your time in the CPA art room, what are some fond memories that come to mind?
I think the main thing that classes at CPA gave me was a lot of confidence. I think going into high school, I sort of doubted myself a lot, especially when it came to art. I definitely came into my first art class thinking that I sucked at it and that I was going to be horrible. And one of my teachers at the time, Miss Nunn, she's not a teacher there anymore. I think it's Miss Stricker now that y'all have for visual art. But her as well. They both really encouraged me to actually have confidence in myself. And yeah, I think that was sort of the main thing that I needed to keep me motivated, to keep trying and to keep pursuing it. Especially with visual art, it's sort of like you'll have a vision in your mind of what you want to happen, and then you'll kind of notice you're going another direction and it'll turn out completely different from what you expected. And I think that's something I actually really enjoy about art is it's so unpredictable. And so I think that you can surprise yourself in creative work because your mind has the ability to push its limits way more than you think it does. In general, in college, there's critique days where you present your art in front of the class and you kind of explain your process, and it's basically the whole class period is just people going up and presenting their art. And that's super challenging because something I struggle with a lot is comparing my art to others. The other great thing about critiques is everyone is appreciating your work while also critiquing it. So I've gotten some really positive feedback before on stuff that I've done, which has been super encouraging from other artists and classmates that I admire their work from. And it's really cool because I think Belmont as a community is pretty artistic, and so you would think that would make everyone pretty competitive, but it actually makes people more encouraging than anything because I think we all kind of are understanding where each other's coming from.
So Marie, have there been any times where your faith has intersected with any of your art in college?
Well, going to CPA, I think you're kind of constantly surrounded by Christianity in a way. Like, you have y'all still have chapel, I'm guessing. Yeah, so you have chapels, all the teachers talk about, God, you take religion classes. It's sort of like constantly around you. And Belmont is a Christian university, but it's not, you don't have to be a Christian to go there. So I've had a lot of teachers who are atheists or a lot of teachers who have denounced God publicly in class. And I think that for a while I kind of got hit freshman year with like this is not everyone believes the same thing, and I really liked that on one hand, and on another hand it made it challenging for my own faith to pursue, and I definitely strayed away from it for a really long time just because I was like, okay, everyone else isn't doing this, so like why should I? And then everything kind of crashed and burned, honestly, because whenever you think you don't need God in your life, that's when he comes in and he's like, nope, you definitely do. The biggest thing for me in college, as far as my faith is concerned, is sticking to it because of me, not because of others, like making it a personal relationship, just making your faith your own and making it personal and making sure that no one else is guiding. I mean, others can guide, but no one's like pushing you the way that you should be pushing yourself.
So Marie, what advice would you give a current CPA student that would like to follow in your footsteps?
Kind of similar to what I was saying earlier, do not compare. Don't compare your art because you will quit. And there was times throughout my art experience at CPA where I was like, I'm not good enough. This isn't worth it. I'm just gonna give up. And like I said, I was so thankful, so grateful to have teachers who were like, no, you're better than you think, and really pushed me and encouraged me. So my biggest advice as far as art goes is not to compare and realize that everyone is very unique from each other, and that doesn't mean that someone's better than another person. Art is so objective, so while you might think that your art is not as good as someone else's, someone might think that yours is better than theirs. Get to know your teachers, and I think that kind of goes for college in general. Your teachers, depending on the school you go to, actually do care about you. And I think going into college, it can be super intimidating because you're used to a close environment like CPA where your teachers know you so well, to going to a bigger, classroom setting. But definitely get to know your teachers because they're there to help. And if you go to like their office hours or seek them out on email, it makes a huge difference.
Well, Marie, those are all the questions I have for you today. Thank you for joining me today over Zoom. Thank you and have a great day.